The Buddha headed to South India. From there he descended to the Naga palace at the bottom of the ocean. There, with an assembly headed by the Bodhisattva Mahamati, who knew that all external things are perceptions of one's mind, he was teaching for 7 days. After arising from the ocean, he beheld Lanka and declared that as Buddhas of the past taught the self-realization of Buddha knowledge, he will do so today for the sake of King Ravana. By the Buddha's power, Ravana heard what the Buddha said and perceived everyone's minds as the ocean and thoughts like the waves. Ravana flew in his chariot to the Buddha and praised him with his assembly and invited him to come to his palace to teach them. The Buddha accepted the invitation and went to Ravana's palace on Mount Malaya, to Lanka city on his chariot. Ravana asked Mahamati to request the Buddha for a teaching, as he was known for requests. The Buddha then conjured mountains around them. On each mountain was a city, a Buddha, Ravana, an assembly, and Mahamati requesting the Buddha for a teaching. After the conjured vision disappeared, Ravana wondered what happened, who spoke and listened, who saw and was seen, and where the cities and Buddhas went. Ravana asks about this, and then declares,
"The dreamlike nature of the vision is the nature of things, the realm of nothing but mind. Beings are bewildered by false projections. Those who view illusions as real don't see the Buddha, only those who transform their existence through meditative practice see the Buddha."
Ravana thus had a transformation of consciousness and saw all appearances as projections of our own minds. He attained various yogic abilities. Ravana then heard a voice praise him from both inside and outside and declare,
"Beings should practice as you, not clinging to any attainment or path, those of Shravakas, Pratika Buddhas, Vedas, powers, or Dhyanas. The use of subtlest wisdom to transform consciousness is the Mahayana path. Practicing samadhi makes this clearer. One should not cling to the world, or even that ignorance and the chain of causation are real, it is only emptiness. Through self-realization one removes the waves of consciousness and abandons views of dualism and self. One should view the tathāgatas in the same way."
Ravana then declared his wish to see the Buddha again. The Buddha, knowing that Ravana attained patience in regard to the non-arising of dharmas, at the 8th Bodhisattva stage, again appeared before him on all the mountains with Mahamati. The Buddha then smiled and emitted a very bright light which made the gods wonder why. Mahamati asked the Buddha why he smiled. The Buddha explained,
"Mahamati, you asked a question for the benefit of yourself and others. In the past Ravana asked the Buddhas a twofold question and he wishes to again. If Ravana questions me now, he will know the practice is appropriate for self-realization and the bliss of samadhi, protected by the Buddhas and avoiding mistakes. Ravana will also, on the 8th, 9th, and 10th Bodhisattva stage, realize that all things are without self-existence and be instructed by Buddhas while seated on a jeweled lotus flower. While on that lotus flower, Ravana will be surrounded by Bodhisattvas on lotus flowers gazing at him, a thing not known by those on other paths or the devas."
Ravana and his assembly then scattered flowers on the mountain and conjured other adornments and instruments. Then Ravana rose into the air and offerings rained down for the Buddha. He then sat on another jeweled peak with lotuses as bright as the sun. Ravana then requested the Buddha if he can ask about the 2 kinds of phenomena, about which he asked past Buddhas. He said that was taught to him previously by apparition Buddhas, in their manifestation body forms, but not primordial Buddhas, in their Dharma body form, who only cultivate bliss of samadhi. The Buddha gave his permission for Ravana to ask this question, and Ravana asked,
"As the Buddha teaches, we should abandon both phenomena and non-phenomena. What does he mean by that? What constitutes a phenomenon and non-phenomenon, and why should we abandon them? Wouldn't this abandonment result in projecting the existence and non-existence of something real and non-real? If it is so that we only behold illusions and realms of impure knowledge, how are we to abandon them?"
The Buddha replied,
"The distinction between phenomenon and non-phenomenon is just a projection of the ignorant, that is, phenomena are no more real than non-phenomena. The wise don't see things in terms of characteristics. Their distinction is like the one or many seen in fire, it is either seen as a singular burning thing or a diversity of flames. The varieties of consciousness and objects are projections, as are the distinctions in characteristics between a phenomenon and non-phenomenon. A phenomenon is anything imagined, they have no substance, no causes, and there is no distinction between those that are good and to be avoided. Imagining is what creates distinctions. Viewing them in this way is to abandon them. Moreover, a non-phenomenon is anything without characteristics, uncaused, and which can neither exist nor not exist. They are things that are talked about but which have no form, such as the horns of a rabbit or a barren woman's child, or something that cannot be known by any form of consciousness. Thus, it should be abandoned. Thus also, fundamentally, non-phenomena are no different from phenomena. The three times are also projections. The Buddhas don't project reality, dharma nature, but transcend projection and fabrication, and also that which projects, for example, a self, life, person, or dependent consciousness. Thus, Buddhas are knowledge, knowledge is the Buddha body, free from that which projects, and the projected, the transformed equivalent of the storehouse consciousness is the tathāgatagarbha. Moreover, the appearances of beings are like paintings, they are not conscious and not subject to karma. As are phenomena and non-phenomena. They are all like an illusion. Not realizing this, people fail to attain tranquility. Tranquility is oneness. Oneness is the tathāgatagarbha, self-realization of Buddha knowledge from which the supreme samadhi arises, the samadhi in which dwells the primordial Buddha, that is, the Dharma body.